Hey, if you've got tons of video content and you want to repurpose it for social media, then that is great. But it's not just about uploading, posting, and carrying on, because social media platforms have their own unique rules and best practices when it comes to video content. If you want to find out the best ways to repurpose videos for social media, then listen to this week's episode.
Welcome to the Content 10X Podcast, the show where content creators learn how to harness the power of content repurposing. And now, your host, Amy Woods.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Content 10X Podcast. I'm your host, Amy Woods, and this week it's all about repurposing videos for social media. Now, over the last few weeks, or probably about the last month actually, my team and I have been noticing lots of businesses repurposing videos for social media, which is fantastic. Of course, I love repurposing, love seeing people do this, and real special credit to businesses that have never really used video as part of their content strategy before. It makes me happy to see people thinking, we've got all this video content, let's start sharing it on social media. But we've seen plenty of videos that haven't been repurposed in the right way for social media. So it's great to see people making an effort, but I wanted to record an episode just to share some of the best practices to make sure that when you do repurpose those videos that you have for your website or for YouTube or for other purposes, maybe a membership or just something that you have in your business's content catalog, that if you are going to start posting those videos on Instagram and Facebook and Insta stories, TikTok maybe, LinkedIn, then there are certain things that you can do to really make those videos work on each platform. So that's what I'm going to dig into in this week's episode. And just to let you know that this week we have created a free PDF download for you that goes through everything that I'm about to cover for repurposing your videos perfectly for social media. You can get it at content10x.com/repurpose video. So what does great video content look like on social media? There's lots of ways to repurpose videos for social media, but the main ones that I'm going to cover in this episode for you are videos that can be shared as part of main posts on the social platforms on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And also videos that can be shared in stories on Instagram, Facebook, and coming soon, potentially LinkedIn stories, which has been announced, and also Twitter are playing around with the stories version as well. So potentially all of those platforms. But we're looking at those two areas, short videos in the main feeds and shorter videos in stories. Now, I consider best practice to look at 4 different areas. Firstly, taking into account the optimal dimension for the video on each social platform, then looking at whether you should be adding captions or subtitles, then paying attention to the duration of videos allowed on platforms, because helpfully, or rather not helpfully, every platform allows different durations of videos, and also treating your videos as standalone content as well. So those 4 areas are really important, taking into account the optimal dimension, adding captions, paying attention to the video duration, and treating the video as standalone content. Now, funnily enough, I've observed people making mistakes when it comes to sharing videos on social media in those 4 areas in exactly that order as well. So let me just go through. So firstly, getting your dimensions right. Now, if you don't take into account that videos can be recorded in different dimensions that aren't necessarily fit for purpose for each platform, you can run into a few issues. First issue, you just can't post the video at all. Or secondly, you can post the video, but it just looks terrible. For example, a video that's filmed in portrait mode, so the mode that we would see stories content in an IGTV, if you share a video in portrait mode on YouTube, a landscape platform, there'll be this big space either side of the video, left and right, that just doesn't look good. It looks really odd. And similarly, some videos filmed in landscape really don't fare well when you try and share them as a square video on Instagram or portrait in stories. If you want to repurpose your videos for social media the right way every time, then you need a few tips and tricks in order to transform those dimensions of videos into the right dimensions for the platforms. I'm going to come on to this in a moment, but that's probably the main area that I see people making mistakes. Now, next, using captions for everybody's sake, basically. So on social media in particular, not so much on YouTube, people go to YouTube to watch videos, but on social media, people generally look at videos first with the sound off. They don't always have the sound on. And I think Facebook brought a statistic out from a study they did that 82% of people are watching video content on their platform without having the sound on. So it's really important to add captions, add subtitles to make your video accessible to everyone. And then get the duration right. So pay attention to the duration. It's really important to know what amount of time you have to share a video on each platform. And we're going to go through that in just a moment, but that's really something to bear in mind when thinking about best practice of repurposing videos for social media. And then also to make sure that your videos make sense on their own. So they stand alone as a piece of content on the platform that you are sharing it on that will either educate or inform or entertain your audience on that platform. So it's not just a case of kind of just slicing and dicing videos at any point in the video and then just sharing that piece of content. You need to have a content strategy overall. You need to know what your message is that you are communicating with your audience and stay consistent to that message. And when you break videos up, they need to stand alone in sharing a key message, and they need to align overall with that content strategy. So this is something to really bear in mind if you're going to outsource this. So if you're going to work with a freelancer, just sending a video and saying, slice this video up and share it 10 different videos on Instagram over the next month for me. That's something that you can do, but you'd really need to provide some direction to make sure that the clips chosen are aligned with your content strategy, and then write that really engaging copy related to the clip and why you are sharing that section of your video. I guess you can see how we take things like this really seriously at Content 10x, because we are a creative agency and we provide this service to our clients where we repurpose videos for them, either episodic weekly videos or talks delivered on stages and webinars and things like that. And we really do dig into what the content strategy is and make sure that we choose really appropriate clips for our clients that overall align with what they're trying to achieve through their content. And just a little plug here, if you want help with this, then head over to content10x.com and have a look at our comprehensive services that we offer for our clients. Hey, just a little break from this podcast episode to ask you a question. Would you like one single place that you can go to that provides you with everything you need to be able to implement the best practices in content repurposing for your video content, your podcast episodes, and your social media content today? To help you get more value from the content that you create, get more time back, and help you reach more people than you ever thought possible. If so, then you are going to love the Content 10x Toolkit. The toolkit is full of video tutorials, templates, checklists, swipe files, step-by-step guides, and more that shows you how to repurpose your content in the best ways possible today. No more Googling, no more figuring it out yourself. We provide you with everything that you need to become a content repurposing pro. If this sounds like something that would interest you, then go check out the Content 10x Toolkit at content10x.com/toolkit. Okay, and back to this week's episode. Now I'm going to dig into some platform-specific tips and advice now, but really just a whistle-stop tour of the platforms. Please do head over to the blog post related to this episode at content10x.com/133, because I go into a lot more detail in the blog post and really help you with this and share lots of links as well. I also mentioned at the start that we have created a great PDF download to accompany this podcast episode that goes hand in hand and shows you how to do all of this wonderful repurposing of your videos to social media. So check that out. It's in the blog post and also at content10x.com/repurpose video. But just to kind of go through and the things to think about. So starting with Facebook, we recommend that you upload your videos as square videos to Facebook. You can post landscape videos, but there's been so much research done, especially by Buffer, who did a great piece on why they see that square videos come out on top when it comes to overall engagement on Facebook. And again, head to content10x.com/133 and you can have a look at some of this and see why we recommend square. Next on Facebook, not too long, not too short. So the maximum length of videos is really long on Facebook. You could put up to a 4-hour video, but people don't go to Facebook to watch feature length, long videos. Now, Facebook say that they prioritize longer videos, but they categorize a longer video as being 3 minutes or more. And that's what we really recommend, that you do videos that are a few minutes, maybe around the 3-minute point for your short teaser videos that you'll share on Facebook. Now, of course, Facebook has stories as well. Stories are filmed in portrait mode, or if you are going to repurpose videos into stories, you are going to have to change them to be in a portrait vertical format for them to work. And I'm going to come on to that in just a second. And also Facebook has Facebook Live. And what I'm going to say here for you for Facebook Lives is, firstly, really do think about the aspect ratio of your video before you go live if you are going to go on and repurpose the live. If you are recording it on your phone, don't hold it in the portrait mode, because then you'll have a portrait video and it won't be very good for repurposing. You want to hold your video in landscape mode, and then you'll have a video that you can repurpose onto YouTube, onto your website, onto other locations, and you can repurpose it into vertical format. But it's much better to try and have your lives in a landscape format. And if you want to find out some great tips on repurposing your Facebook Lives, then head over to content10x.com/11, where I interviewed Ian Anderson Gray all about repurposing Facebook Lives. And also head over to content10x.com/54, creating live experiences with your content. I provide lots of tips and advice in that podcast episode and blog post about repurposing your lives. Okay, so moving on to Instagram. So with Instagram, the main videos in the main feed are always going to go in as square. So if you have landscape videos, you're going to need to repurpose them into square. Coming on to this in just a moment. When you have stories and IGTV, those videos are in portrait mode. The stories videos are up to 1 minute. So you can put a 1-minute video into stories and it will slice it down into 4 15-second videos, or you upload individual videos of up to 15 seconds. IGTV, the videos are in portrait format and they are up to 10 minutes. Now, some people have longer than 10 minutes. Certain branded accounts can post videos of up to an hour on IGTV, but for most people, we have a 10-minute vertical video. Now, you can actually post landscape videos onto IGTV. Whilst it's a vertical first platform, a while ago, IGTV actually lifted it as being exclusively vertical. So landscape videos can go onto IGTV as well. Now, if you want to find out a little bit more about Instagram, then do check out my interview with Sue B. Zimmerman. It was fantastic. It was content10x.com/116, so episode 116. So do go check that out. But that's Instagram. You're looking at square, you're looking at vertical and short in stories, and vertical and longer into IGTV. Now, you can go live on Instagram as well. And if you go live in Instagram, you have a maximum of 1 hour to go live. And if you want to carry on, you just kind of stop and start again and start the new hour. Now, a little bit different to Facebook, because when you go live on Instagram, it's appearing in stories. And so it's a portrait video. So Instagram Live isn't wonderful for repurposing those videos afterwards. If you want to do some repurposing of videos after, then I recommend using a third-party software to stream in, so you get a copy of the video separately, and you can stream to multiple locations as well with some of these really great third-party softwares like Ecamm Live and Be Live. Moving on to Twitter, you can upload videos in square or landscape on Twitter. I recommend square. This format lets you occupy the most real estate when in the Twitter feed, but it's not as essential as Facebook. You can use landscape as well. The duration of videos on Twitter is 2 minutes and 20 seconds, so you have 140 seconds. So if you repurpose short videos for Twitter that are 2 minutes and 20 seconds or around that point, you can't then just go and put that onto Instagram, because Instagram only let you post videos of up to 1 minute. So it starts getting a little bit confusing. And this is why video repurposing should be all about each platform and making your content specific for the platform. Now, there's no story style features in Twitter at the moment, but apparently they are trialing something called Fleets, which is their own version of stories. So let's watch out for that and see what happens with Fleets. And moving on to LinkedIn. So LinkedIn allow you to upload videos in square or landscape. Whatever you do, don't upload in vertical because LinkedIn isn't geared up for your vertical videos and it will crop them into square and that doesn't always look great. You need to keep your videos under 10 minutes on LinkedIn. Another tip here on videos with LinkedIn is do upload your videos directly to LinkedIn. They like native video. If you share a link from your YouTube video onto LinkedIn, they really do penalize you. Now, some people have LinkedIn Live, some people don't. That's by invitation only. But if you have LinkedIn Live, do just make sure that you do those videos in horizontal format. And at the moment, you have to use third-party software anyway for LinkedIn Live, which is great because then you get a better quality video that you can go on and repurpose. But here, very quickly, I've just gone through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And you can see how different they all are with their requirements for videos, different aspect ratios and different durations, etc. So clearly juggling between all of these different requirements is something you need to consider if you want to share the same video content across them all. It's entirely possible, but via careful and considered repurposing. Now, based on everything that I've said, if you have horizontal videos, the kind of videos that you upload to YouTube and to your website, Vimeo, places like that, and you want to repurpose them into vertical format, then go and check out my blog post, content10x.com/44, and also the podcast episode associated with that, because I just show you exactly how you can change those horizontal videos into vertical videos. And when you do this, you can share the videos on IGTV, into stories, TikTok if you're on there as well. And if you want to be taken by the hand and shown more detail on how to repurpose horizontal videos to vertical, then do go and check out the Content 10x toolkit. That's content10x.com/toolkit, because that has really easy to follow steps, practical walkthroughs, and video tutorial on how to do this video repurposing for the different platforms. And exactly the same goes for repurposing horizontal videos to square as well. I won't go into the detail now because you can go over to that blog post, content10x.com/44, for the principles of how you can change the aspect ratios and make them look like really great, professional, well-branded, square social media videos. Now, if you are going to add captions to your videos, and I mentioned before, 85% of Facebook users watch videos without sound. So we think that social media videos should always have subtitles and captions on their videos. And we really recommend that you get your caption file generated by rev.com. They will provide you with an SRT file, and you can then burn those subtitles onto your videos. You can use tools like Capwing, Handbrake, or Submerge. And again, if you either get a copy of my book or you get the Content 10x toolkit, I show exactly how you can get those captions put onto your videos. Or on some platforms, you can just upload that file that Rev provide you, like on Facebook you can do this, on YouTube you can do this as well, and then those subtitles will show on your videos. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, and this is actually quite a long episode for me, but there's just a lot to think about when you are repurposing your videos for social media. And I really want to just emphasize again that think about each platform. Make sure that you are aware of how long you'll have, what kind of videos work on the platform, and what dimensions will look good. But also just make sure that the clips that you choose align with your overall content strategy. And you don't just choose any clip, but you choose specific points that you make or a specific message that you share, that you can then write some really engaging copy to go with that video. And it will really start to establish your authority, and you'll become known for what you want to become known for. And let's face it, the content hopefully will then lead to some conversions and some sales for your business and help you grow your audience as well. But also, just to finish this off by saying that done is better than perfect as well. It is wonderful to see all of these videos being shared on social media, and you can only do your best. And even if you aren't changing up the aspect ratios or adding captions and you're just dipping your toe in, then carry on and share your video content if you see that your audience are responding and enjoying your content. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Content 10x podcast. I really appreciate it, and please do get in touch with me if this has helped you to repurpose your videos, and share with me the videos that you are sharing on social media. I'm at Content 10x on all of the social media platforms. Also, I'll mention it one more time that we have created a free PDF download at content10x.com/repurpose video that goes through everything that I've covered in this week's podcast episode, helping you every time you repurpose any horizontal videos for social media. So do check that out. It's a really useful guide to have by your side for your video repurposing endeavors. Now, if you want help with your content repurposing, then we have our fully end-to-end content repurposing service. We work with podcasters and video creators and speakers as well. Just head over to content10x.com to find out everything that we do. And while you're over there, do check out my book as well, content10x.com/book. It's the ultimate guide to repurposing every type of content. So all that's left to say is thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode.